What's going on, folks? Coach Marcus, Pro Fan Talk. So let's jump right into it. We got the Brandon Aiyuk comments. I've listened to them, and let me be honest with you, I don't have a problem with them. They can say it's disrespectful and stuff like that, but I flip it to the other side. If it had been us and something happened to Jalen Hurts, we would say the exact same thing. And to a certain extent, when we lost that game to the Cowboys with Gardner Minshew, what's the first thing we said? If Jalen Hurts had been in that game, we win that game. And I believe that. So I don't have any problem with what Brandon Aiyuk said. Now, I don't have to agree with it, but him as a member of the 49ers, you got to have that mindset going into a playoff game. So he didn't tell no lies. He's talking from his perspective. And if we're honest, if the situation was flipped and Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts were knocked out of the game, and we would say the exact same thing. So I ain't got no problem with that. That's not disrespectful. That's the way they think it would have gone. This is the TheSFNiners. I want to give them credit for this is their footage. So I'm just, replaying it and commenting on it. Yeah, I'll let you listen to it.
Y'all were in it with Josh Johnson, man. Like when CMC hit that run, bro, I was in that stadium. That whole stadium looked around and said, "Oh no." They just tied it.
They knew from
They tied it with Josh Johnson at quarterback. They said.
Now let me pause right there, because in any stadium, in any situation, somebody scores a touchdown. They scored that touchdown because Marcus Epps came in and tried to make a tackle with his eyes closed. He dropped his head. He does the no-no that you do, that they try to teach you. We as football coaches try to teach you from day one. See what you hit. Keep your head up. All of that type of stuff. That's exactly what he didn't do. So as a professional NFL caliber safety, for him to drop his head like that, CMC jumped right over him. I said this before. That run by CMC as a running back, as a former running back in the NFL, that was a chef's kiss. You keep your head up. You see the guys coming in low. You jump right over them. And then Chauncey Gardner-Johnson comes in and tries to lay the hit instead of wrapping up and making a tackle. And what does he do? He lowers his shoulder. He keeps his legs moving, breaks the tackle, and trots right into the end zone. Great job by CMC. However, anytime a play like that happens, that's going to quiet the crowd. But that doesn't mean that we were scared or you have fear in your heart. If you go back and you see what happened when we played Jacksonville, same thing happened. Jalen Hurts throws a pick. I believe they got the pick six, so they got out to the early lead. And it was quiet, but you still have to play the game. So him saying that as a fan, that's his perspective. And it gets oversimplified and it gets over-exaggerated because obviously he's pulling for the other team.
Said, because the defense was balling. They were scared, bro. They were scared. I could.
Well, nobody's scared, bro.
I'm not gonna say nothing because, like I said,
I know. I don't want you to. I
was talking when I was talking shit to Cowboys players who were talking about us. Look at me. I'm sitting on the couch. I had no room to talk about nobody playing next week. So
there you go. That's it in a nutshell. I don't mind when people come on, woulda, coulda, shoulda, don't do nothing but rhyme. Us as the Eagles, we've been in plenty of those situations. You can go all the way back from that year, early in the regular season, we stomped on Tampa Bay. And then John Gruden and the Buccaneers came in and kicked our butts for a chance to go play in the Super Bowl. Everybody thought we was just going to stomp on them again. And it didn't happen. And of course, after that week, it was all woulda, coulda, shoulda. What we should have done. And that's exactly what he's doing. But you see, he prefaced it by saying, I'm at home on a couch. So I ain't got no right to say it. So he knows. He knows. So I don't have any problem with him saying that. That's the way he feels. And quite honestly, as a player, that's how you're supposed to feel. That's exactly how you're supposed to feel. They had the game plan. They had the confidence. Everything going in there. So did we. So did Philadelphia. So it's going to happen on both sides of the ball. So there's not really much you can do about that. But so I understand his point of view.
Even
They got their
Chase
hands full.
balling
They got
out.
they got their hands full. I don't know fully about that defense. I don't know. They talk about him being a good defense. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure. I think the pass game.
Now, see that to me, that's a little sour grapes right there. What don't you know about the defense? What didn't you understand about the 70 sacks we were bringing to the table? Now, and this is where you got to understand there's two sides of the ball, and he's now going on his rant. Now it's just salt. To me, that's what it looks like to me, in my opinion. Now that's just salty because Brandon Aiyuk has nothing to do with what our offensive line did to their defense. Never mention the run game. That's what killed him. Now you can say that great play by CMC, and I'm all for it because that was a great play by CMC. But we ran the ball too. Well, Jalen Hurts took some shots while he was running the ball. So now the other part of that is the mentality of any question marks of whether Jalen Hurts was healthy or not. Some of the shots he took running the ball, all those questions get answered. And our trenches beat their trenches. That's what it came down to. Our guys in the trenches beat their guys in the trenches. Joey Bosa he had the one sack on Jalen that almost had the safety. So it's not like he didn't have a quiet game. He was in there disruptive, but for the most part, we took it to him and kept him, handled for most of the game. So that's a little sour grapes, but that's cool. He's supposed to have that opinion, and I'm not mad at him for that. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is, and he said it, he even admitted it, he's talking from home. He's sitting on the couch watching these games, and all he can do is hate on us because we are where they want to be. And the truth of the matter is we are where they wanted to be. And now they have to they got to go through a whole nother offseason and battle through a whole nother regular season to even have the opportunity to get back to this point. Not to mention, a lot of things have changed for them. D'Amico Ryan's going to the Texans. Some of their assistant coaches are going to leave and go other places. So now that whole dynamic has been messed up a little bit. D'Amico Ryans was the brains of that defense. So now that he's gone, you lose a lot of that. You lose a whole lot of that. I don't expect somebody else to come in and play the same type of defense that D'Amico played. Somebody's going to have some little wrinkles. Maybe they'll be as effective next year. Maybe they won't. But they got to wait a whole nother year to find out. That's where that frustration comes in. And that's the way that it goes. It bothers me more when I see these media heads say nonsense like that, as opposed to him. He was actually at the game. He was in the game. He made a contribution. He's got a right to say that. He's got a right to feel like that because we've been in that situation before. I've personally been in that situation before where you're talking woulda, coulda, shoulda. You watching film, dude, we practiced that play all week and we didn't get that block. And if you would have got that block, it would have sprung for a touchdown or whatever the situation is. So I understand that. I've been there. So I understand where he's coming from. I can empathize. Most people can't. And that's a sucky feeling. Because they honestly believe they were the better team. And we believe the same thing. But like I said before, if the situation was flipped and the Eagles would have came out on the losing end and Jalen Hurts would have gotten hurt again, they knocked him out of the game, we would be saying the exact same thing. So it's all good. It's all good. I like Brandon Aiyuk. I think he's one of the better receivers in the league right now. That kid's got a bright future. And I'm going to watch him next year. Now, I don't know if it's going to be Brock Purdy or Trey Lance throwing to him, but we shall see. But at the end of the day, we got to wait till next year to find out. Right now, there's only two teams playing. The Eagles and the Chiefs. That's all that matters. And if we handle our business, we'll be the ones on top. But that's why you play the game. Go Birds.